3. Nigeria Info.
My children take some lessons online. This is how our days used to go.
Dad! Daddy, my screen is frozen! Dad!
Dad this, Dad that. That's my poor connection cue. But today, I celebrate an end to these frustrations thanks to MTN 5G broadband. Now, lessons, family times, streaming our favorite shows, all working from home are the easiest. Get on the train. Thank me later.
My daddy is the best in the whole wide world!
Because every second matters, you can do so much in a day with MTN 5G broadband. Create, connect, and keep it with MTN 5G broadband. Visit shop.mtn.ng.
Is your heart racing because your MTN line is blocked? You can't make calls. You can't receive calls. Not even text messages. Nothing at all? What about bank alerts? All these happened because you haven't linked your NIN to your MTN line. Unblock your MTN line today by linking it to NIN. Rush to any nearby MTN store or agent. If you don't have your NIN yet, no problem. Simply go to any nearby NIMC office to get your NIN. MTN. What are we doing today?
All right, welcome back. I want to say good morning to our guests, Dr. Adetokunbo Pearse and Mr. Joe Femi-Dagunro. Good morning to you, gentlemen. It's good to have you bright and late today.
Yes. Right. Good to be here.
All right, fantastic. Sir, you listened to the speech given by Mr. President today. What's your overall assessment of his speech?
Well, the president was eloquent, and he made some very valid points, which is that he was part of the struggle, and he paid homage to other people who were involved in the struggle for democracy. But I got to tell you, actions speak louder than words. He said something about democracy, that in a democracy, what's most important is how the country is run. Election is just part of it. I would say election is the most crucial part of democracy, because that is where everything is decided. Whether you have a valid, transparent election, credible election or not. So you could become the president in democracy, but you did not get there through the democratic process, because the critical part of democracy is what happens on election day. Because that's what happened to Abiola. MKO won the election, but the election was rigged. It was not rigged. The results were rigged. At the end of the day, even though he had been announced to be the victor, the powers that be decided not to give it to him. So election and that day of election is crucial to democracy. And that is where we didn't have democracy, because Abiola won the election, but they did not allow him to come into power because the results of the election were manipulated. So I disagree with President Tinubu on that point, and that's critical to democracy.
All right.
Election, critical to democracy. For instance, now, if we don't do something about INEC, whereby the president, sitting president, or the one before appoints the INEC chairman and the INEC commissioners, we do not have a democracy.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much, Adetokunbo Pearse. Femi-Dagunro, your overall assessment of Mr. President's speech, was it well delivered?
The basic point is accepting the fact that democracy is complicated. And that's what the president made us to understand. And we have to see that as simple as we look at it, it's quite complicated as well. I'm very sensitive. And that is one thing that we have to all accept. When I hear Dr. Pearse saying election and INEC and all that, yes, in the past we've seen there will always be complaints. People complain, even if they put Dr. Pearse as the INEC chairman, people will still complain. You see, the point is this: from election to election, people learn. And even the voters themselves, they learn, they change their minds, they see issues differently. So, you can see what happened in Lagos. It's a critical example as well that when people thought President Bola Tinubu will win Lagos, you saw what happened. So election evolves as well. The masses, the voters, they change their mind based on whatever that comes into their mind at a particular time.
It can go any way.
Yes, and that is what we have to understand. Election is not a do or die thing, and that's what we have to make people understand. You see those who fought for it. You see those who laid their lives for this democracy that we're enjoying today is a continuous process. And whatever we would do, I think the basic thing is to amend our constitution. Whatever we are saying, sometimes I look at it that we can't stop the president from taking certain action. We can't stop the people from taking certain action, the lawmakers, unless the constitution is being reviewed or is being amended. So what we should be asking for, generally speaking, it is let us amend the constitution to meet the needs of the people. Maybe it's outdated in some part. Maybe we have to, there was a part of this constitution or an act that I was looking at as this 1964 act, still valid as of today. So these are the things we have to begin to look at. Let us come together to begin to say the right thing for our nation, not to condemn our nations. We have to come together to, make Nigeria great. And to make Nigeria great, the lawmakers have to look into this constitution. It has to be amended for the people and by the people themselves.
All right, interesting. Thank you very much, Joe Femi-Dagunro. The president started his speech by congratulating Nigerians on Democracy Day today, 12 June. He said on this day, 31 years ago, we entered our rites of passage to becoming a true, enduring democratic society. Has Nigeria become truly? Because where you have your rites of passage to becoming a man or a woman, whatever, you should end up becoming that. The question is, Nigeria really a true and enduring democratic society? But he says going through this passage was hard and dangerous. During the fateful 6 years that followed, we fought and struggled for our natural rights. So at 1993 to 1999, as human beings put on this divine earth by our Creator. And he started by giving attention to the heroes who Nigeria lost along the way. He talked about great heroes and heroines like the winner. He used the word winner of the June 12, 1993 presidential election, Chief MKO Abiola, the most significant symbol of our democratic struggle, he said. The president also mentioned Kudirat, the wife of MKO Abiola. He mentioned the late General Shehu Musa Yar'Adua. He mentioned Pa Alfred Ruwani, amongst others. He mentioned he said they bravely surrendered their life, their futures, for our nation to have a better one. We know how MKO lost his life, how Kudirat lost her life.
That's right.
He also talked about the memories of those before that era, 90s pro-democracy struggle, the likes of Chief Anthony Nahoro. But before then, let's talk about those who sacrificed between in the 90s, let's call it the 90s. What are your thoughts on the fact the president remembered them? And he mentioned these names: Chief MKO Abiola, Kudirat Abiola, Shehu Musa Yar'Adua, Pa Alfred Ruwani. Are the others that could have been remembered?
That was very gracious on the part of the president and very presidential. But again, think about this. The sacrifices of all those heroes, in my opinion, have been in vain. You know why? We don't have a democracy. What they fought for democracy, Nadeco, was hijacked by the military, Abdul Salam, in 1999. You talk about the 1999 Constitution. It is a bogus document. It is a military-style document and has not served this nation. It's a centralized document where all power is at the center and nothing in the states. The federating units don't have any real power, and that's why we don't have progress in Nigeria. You can talk about democracy, it's just a principle of equal opportunity for all. Now, when you now become the leader of a democracy, where are the dividends of democracy? That is where the issue now is. So, couple of things. I say, all of this talk about heroes and so on, Abiola sacrificed his life, it has been in vain. It will be in vain if we don't have a better quality of life. If we don't have bona fide credible elections. You know, you're right. Guru is right, because unless we amend, even do away, write another constitution, everybody from Wole Soyinka to Anyaku to MKO to IBB to even Obasanjo, everybody is now talking about restructuring. Something has to be done about the 1999 constitution, whereby the president does not appoint an INEC chairman. I agree. If I'm appointed the INEC chairman by one president, and I'm obligated to that president, most likely I will be, it doesn't work. So it's not a question of me saying that the man there is wrong.
Okay.
The point is the president should not be the one. Once that is in place, imagine if the president of America, Donald Trump, was the one that appointed an INEC chairman in America. And when he lost the election, he said, I didn't lose. You must announce that I won. The man would have announced. But because of the system they had, the structure they had in place, whereby there's accountability at the state level. In other words, our electoral system has to be totally amended, because the last election we had was just a mess.
All right, we're going to continue some more of that. But Joe Femi-Dagunro, the president also went on to, remember and to mention the names of other pro-democracy activists and those who struggled alongside him. He didn't mention, he mentioned his name, but we'll get to get later. He said, talked about the likes of General. All right, he talked about the likes of exiled pro-democracy activists, but he mentioned the sacrifice of General Alani Akiri Ade, yes, of course.
Gentleman.
Yeah, just started a bit there. Professor Bolaji Akemi. Yes, he talked about Professor Wole Soyinka.
That's right.
Chief Ralph Obioha, Chief Cornelius Adebayo.
That's right.
Among many others, for at least 6 years, he says they bore the pains and difficulties of life in exile. Now, where he said, while the pro-democracy activists in exile kept the fire burning, their comrades at home sustained the pressure on the military brass hats. He talked about Olisak Bakoba, Femi Falana,
That's right.
Abdul Oro, Senator Shehu Sani, Governor Obasani, Chief Olu Fly, and other national democratic leaders such as Chief Ayo Adebanjo and Chief Ayo Opadoku. He says that their sacrifices are a precious gift brought about by their selfless devotion that can never be repaid, neither shall it be forgotten.
It's just like when you talk about democracy in America and the blacks, and you will not mention the name of MLK, Martin Luther King Jr. You see, or you talk about democracy in South Africa, you will not mention the name of Madiba. You see, people have to just remember all these great names and great people who sacrificed their lives. And somehow that, General Alani Akiri is still alive today, and Professor Bola Tinubu is still alive today. I happen to have met all these great men. But the point is this, mentioning those people, recognizing them, giving them that honor is a great thing for a president to do. That's presidential. That is statesmanship. That is, being a gentleman to the core. You see, the point is this. Once an election is won and a winner is declared, we just have to rally around the winner and make the success out of it. You see, whether we like it or not, Trump is still saying a couple of things about America's election, the previous one, and he's still finding himself in a mess as well. You see, if you want to say something about others, be clean yourself, So I see that whatever we're saying today, whoever has lost the election, is about Nigeria. Nigeria is greater than an individual. It might be painful to say, I could have won, I should have won. No, but a winner has been declared. A winner is there, and we have to show respect. And that is the thing that the president has done, to respect all the people and to say, look, Nigerians, we know that it hurts. We know this thing is difficult, but we are in it together. I keep saying, when this gentleman said, look, I asked for this, don't pity me, I'll do something. But it's unfortunate that, that we can't recognize the issue in a different way. We have to begin to have a different perspective to some of these things, because, you see, we cannot bring Nigeria all this social welfare all the things people are agitating for, they are good. I'm in Nigeria and I love those things. I want to see people, I tell you what, the health system, I want to see it work well. I want to see an ambulance being able to carry people to the hospital directly. I've had these experiences in my neighborhood where people are dying, no ambulances, where things are happening, where they don't have money to do tests. 400 and something thousand just yesterday. So I see this, I know this, but it can't happen overnight. But we are expecting it, and we have to continue to talk about these things, the welfare of the people. Democracy dividend is not just a year or 2 or 3 or 4. It has to be everlasting. And that is what other people are enjoying in some other country, but it takes some time.
We'll take your thoughts for those really. Thank you, Joe Femi-Dagunro. We still have him here. And of course, Adetokunbo Pearse, we will still take your thoughts and talk to them, analyzing Mr. President's speech. 0201-277-0993, 0201-277-1993, 0201-277-2993 or 3993. Your analysis, your thoughts, and your reaction to Mr. President's Democracy Day speech. We have our next listener on the line, 99.3. Good morning.
Good morning, Kofi.
Welcome. Your name, location, and contribution, please, in 1 minute.
Happy Democracy Day. Emeka is my name from Supply Town.
Emeka, welcome.
You see, I heard Mr. President speak, and like your guest in the studio alluded to, he's very eloquent when it comes to speeches. It was a great speech, well written, and I love the fact that he paid tribute to fallen heroes and heroines of democracy. But the question is, have we really advanced? Have we really made progress as a democratic nation? Because like the first person there spoke, he spoke about the fact that what actually makes democracy beautiful are the institutions. The democratic institutions are what make democracy beautiful. Inter alia, the electoral process. We must work on our electoral process, because with all these tributes given to fallen heroes, we have not really made any advancement, to the best of my knowledge. We need to interrogate the way and manner we appoint the INEC chairman and those who superintend our electoral process. Without doing that, we'll continue to go around in circles in this country, because Nigeria is a great nation. We have all the potential.
Thank you very much.
And like the other person spoke, it's a process.
Thank you.
But that process must start by fixing the institutions of the state. Thank you.
All right. The process must start by fixing the institutions of state. We have a caller on Skype. I guess as a diaspora listener. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Kofi.
Welcome. What's your name and where are you listening to us from?
Okay, my name is Irabuchikano. I'm calling you from England.
Your name again?
Irabuchikano.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Where in England are you listening to us from, please?
Presently, I'm in Leicester City.
All right, Leicester, please go on.
Okay. First, let me make this statement before I continue with my observation of the president's speech. They said the national anthem, the former national anthem was given by the military, but the constitution of the country is equally given by the military. If they change the national anthem, why not equally change the constitution? Having said that, I want to make it clear to everybody that cares to say that the president's speech on the Democracy Day is without any substance. No substance at all, apart from reading out names, telling us his stories. He talked about the labor and the way they didn't arrest them, they didn't punish them or whatever. I expected him to make a pronouncement. I believe that every other Nigerian was listening for him to make a pronouncement concerning the minimum wage.
Okay.
He didn't do that.
All right.
Your guest in the studio said something about the electoral system. I equally support them to make a provision, the National Assembly, to say something about the electoral system.
Irabuchi, thank you.
The president appointing the INEC chairman and the state governors and having say on the appointment of the state electoral commissioners and things like that are not helping us.
Thank you, Irabuchi. Thank you.
Are not helping Nigerians.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Appreciate your time. All right. We'll take some more of your thoughts as we go on. We've taken some calls there. We're keeping an eye on what's going on in the city. We had some people are gathering around Ikeja, and we want to know what's happening there. Also around the country, see if the protests will go on. But gentlemen in the studio, let's look at other aspect. Of course, the president went back in time to mention and tell Nigerians to honor the memories of likes of Chief Anthony Nahoro, Chief Abraham Adesanya, Commodore Dan Suleiman, Chief Arthur Nwankwo, Chief Chukwuemeka Ezefe, who recently passed away. My dad used to call him the bearded one, the goatee. Admiral Ndubisi Kanu, Chief Frank Kokori, blessed memory, Chief Bolage of blessed memory, Chief Adekunle Ajasin of Chief Gani Daudu, Chief Ayo Fasomi, Chief Gani Fawemi, Chief Olabi Adrojaye, Dr. Beko Ransom Kudi Chima Ubani, and others of blessed memory. Dr. Adetokunbo Pearse, your thoughts on this? Was this quite a good one from the president?
I said before, that was very presidential, very responsible. But as one of your speakers, I think the one that come from England, said, very empty, nothing to go home about. One of the greatest critics of this administration, of this president, is Femi Falana, and he's still alive and he's still talking. So, and he's saying the same thing that we've been saying, that it is a responsibility of a president to now bring about reforms that will help to move democracy forward. And the most critical of it all is the institutions that you have to really change, and it's the Constitution. If that Constitution remains as it is, I say that Constitution, 1999 Constitution, orchestrated by Abdul Salam, General Abdul Salam, and his colleagues in the military, hijacked Nadeko and all the democratic struggles of Tinubu and all of these our so-called heroes.
All right. Do you agree with that constitutional point? Because the caller from Leicester City also said that if we change the national anthem given to us by the military, then let's also change the constitution. And he's mentioned that as well as a hijack.
You know, I said it a couple of times that if the constitution is amended or changed or reviewed, whichever word you want to use for it, that's the thing we can do. But just to continue to, comment or to condemn, it doesn't have, and it will not have.
Criticize, we don't condemn.
You see, even if you
the
criticize,
fact that you criticize doesn't mean that you condemn.
Listen, Dr. Pearse, just listen. I don't interrupt you, and let's make it real. The point is this: even if you criticize, let's criticize wisely. We know the process. You have a senator, you have a rep, you have the local government chairman in your area. Approach them, send a letter. If you are resetting PDP and you want to reset the country, you have the right to do it. But what I'm saying is this: do it accordingly. We can't succeed in doing it just, talking on radio or TV. We have to begin to approach our lawmakers and for them to do the right thing. When you hear that they want to create more states, when you hear that they want to do all these things, is it what the people really want? The states that have been created, we have not been able to manage them. We want to create more. Is that going to solve the problem? And if you look at what is going on, we have seen it that creating state, electoral commission should be scrapped, and INEC should continue to do it nationally. You see, if we're looking at all these things, the first thing to do is the Constitution. I'm not going to start dropping names of lawyers, of people who have been saying things. Yes, everybody, Nigerians have the right to make contributions, to criticize, to condemn, or whatever they feel is our rights. But let us do it rightly so that the thing will move on. We cannot just continue to say things and we are not moving. The senators, the lawmakers from the grassroots to the federal level should make sure that they do the right thing, and the citizens should be able to say, look, this is what we want. Unless we get that right, then every other thing will follow. And listen, what people want is good life, and we want, all of us, we want good life, and good life can only be enshrined in the Constitution, whereby you are not arrested and delayed, whereby you are not tortured, whereby you can do things accordingly.
So does the president need to quickly move on scrapping the Constitution and midwifing a new Constitution?
He cannot scrap it. He doesn't have the power to scrap the Constitution. It still boils down on the lawmakers.
But he can influence that. Does he need
to?
No,
you see, when you talk about influence now, people will say, oh, the president is influencing for his own reasons. Look at when the people said, okay, some people came out and said, we want a 6-year one term for president. People are moving towards different direction, and let us come out with the right direction, and let us come out with the right.
It's not all about the president.
It's not all about the president. Even when you complain that the president has too many ministers and too many this, too many that, the Constitution allows that. If the Constitution does not allow this thing, then we can say that it's doing something out of the Constitution. Whether it's military constitution, whether it's barbaric constitution, whatever you call it, it's still the Constitution that guides us in this country. So unless we begin to do the right thing by amending or by changing or by scrapping, whichever way, but it is not the duty of the president to say, oh, I scrap. No, he has no power to do that.
Dr. Pearse?
You know, this is where I say a lot of people don't understand the way this system works. First, we write letters to our lawmakers, assemblymen, senators. We do that. But we also write letters to the president. And I tell you, in a presidential system as we have, the buck stops with the president. The president can influence, as he does. He controls that National Assembly, giving them all sorts of perks and so on. They do his bidding. We have seen senators prostrating for presidents in our society. The president has all the power. If a president wants to change the constitution,
maybe they did that on their own accord.
He would lobby. Well, that shows you
to show loyalty, and
yes.
He may not even like it.
I know. It just shows you the strength of the president. That's the point I'm trying to make. The power of the presidency. Now, if a president wants to change the constitution, he will lobby for it. He would ask the lawmakers, this is my view. This is what I would like us to do. That is why he's president. So something is in the constitution. Constitution allows you to have 500 ministers. You come into office. Listen to the president of Zimbabwe or something recently. He got into office. They say, you have the right to have 50 cars. He says, I don't want them. I want 5. That is a president. Right now, we have a person in office who is taking advantage of all the weaknesses in the system. Don't tell me that Constitution allows it. Constitution allows him to destroy this country, and he's destroying this country. And you're telling me we shouldn't criticize him. Look, we ask our senators to do the right thing.
If you continue this way,
we must have the president to do the right thing. Look, you said you're not a politician. You don't work for the president. We are the citizens, and we have a right to hold our president responsible and
Dr.
accountable.
Dr. Pearse.
Listen, you see, I think we have to be careful when we speak on public space. On public
but let's stick to the issues.
Yes,
let's
the
stick to the
thing
issues.
is this is Democracy Day, and that's what we're talking about.
Now, hello, Dr.
The
Pearse.
thing is this: I'm a citizen of this country, like every other Nigerian citizen, home and abroad. We're looking at issues. If the Zimbabwe man says something, that is Zimbabwe. He knows why he's saying it. If a governor in Nigeria says another thing, look at Abia.
My children take some lessons. This is how our days used to go.
Dad! Daddy, my screen is frozen! Dad!
Dad this, Dad that. That's my poor connection cue. But today, I celebrate an end to these frustrations thanks to MTN 5G broadband. Now, lessons, family times, streaming our favorite shows, all working from home are the easiest. Get on the train. Thank me later.
My daddy is the best in the whole wide world!
Because every second matters, you can do so much in a day with MTN 5G broadband. Create, connect, and keep winning with MTN 5G broadband. Visit shop.mtn.ng.
Is your heart racing because your MTN line is blocked? You can't make calls. You can't receive calls. Not even text messages. Nothing at all? What about bank alerts? All these happened because you haven't linked your NIN to your MTN line. Unblock your MTN line today by linking it to your NIN. Rush to any nearby MTN store or agent. If you don't have your NIN yet, no problem. Simply go to any nearby NIMC office to get your NIN. MTN. What are we doing today?
We report, you decide. Topical conversations that matter to you.
There are people for personal, religious, whatever reasons who do not want to take a vaccine. And I think they have the rights.
They cannot go.
Information at its peak. This is 99.3 Nigeria Info. I'm listening.
It's 8 o'clock. The news update on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Live from our studios on Etemi and Chris and Victoria Island, Lagos, this is the news at 8 on 99.3 Nigeria Info. I'm Kofi Bartels. Let's start by telling you President Bola Tinubu says his government will soon send an executive bill to the National Assembly to enshrine what has been agreed upon as the new minimum wage. The president stated this a short while ago in a nationwide broadcast to mark the 25th anniversary of unbroken democracy in Nigeria and 31 years of the June 12 election. The president said when organized labor called for a national strike over the new minimum wage, his government did not crack down on them, but instead negotiated in good faith with open arms with them on request. He also stressed that the reforms that his administration has initiated are intended to create a stronger, better foundation for future growth. The president further charged Nigerians to continue to defend this democracy and nurture it while applauding the country's heroes and heroines who helped birth the democracy Nigeria now enjoys. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has enjoined Nigerians, particularly Lagos residents, to protect and sustain the present democratic government in Nigeria. The governor in a Democracy Day message implored Nigerians to join hands to build a dream country and the future we want. According to him, all hands must be on deck to sustain democracy in Nigeria so that the struggle of the nation's founding fathers and heroes of democracy will not be in vain. Governor Sanwo-Olu also said June 12 remains a symbol of Nigeria's aspirations for unity, hope, a better standard of living, and true democratic practices which the country is working toward. However, the 2023 presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, feels the All Progressives Congress is responsible for the current economic hardship faced by Nigerians. In a statement to commemorate Nigeria's Democracy Day, Atiku also criticized opposition parties for failing to unite and form a coalition capable of unseating the ruling APC. He berated the opposition parties for failing to present a governance plan that will gain the confidence of Nigerians, explaining that one of the secondary purposes of declaring June 12 as Democracy Day in Nigeria is to commemorate the history of the nation's prolonged journey towards becoming a stable, democratic nation. Now, talking about Democracy Day 2024, Interior Minister Olubunmi Tunji-Ojo declared the day a public holiday on behalf of the federal government. In a statement on Tuesday in Abuja, the statement was issued by the ministry's permanent secretary Aishetu Ndayako. The minister urged Nigerians to remain steadfast on the tenets of democratic governance. On foreign scene, Hamas says it has submitted its response to US-backed plan for a ceasefire in Gaza. A senior group official says it still requires an Israeli commitment to a permanent ceasefire. In a statement, the group and its Palestinian Islamic Jihad allies expressed readiness to positively reach a deal. The proposed ceasefire plan, which was endorsed by the UN Security Council on Monday night, calls for a 6-week ceasefire that will eventually become permanent. We have more news at 9 o'clock. For now, that's the news update right here on 99.3 Nigeria Info. I'm Kofi Bartels. The Morning Crossfire continues. Please stay with us. Good morning.
On the Morning Crossfire with me, Kofi Bartels. You have the big names, the most pressing issues, and the sharpest conversations.
He must leave that place of talking into this place of doing.
Nothing is paying through their nose, and you are telling them after training they can't migrate. I will not be part of those who will give soft landing to these guys who are running the affairs of this country.
People are dying every day. In an hour, people just go in and come out and read out stories to us. Come on, Kofi.
We must step beyond the talk. We have the analysis.
Join us as we dissect the headlines, bring you exclusive interviews, and dive deep into the heart of the matter. The big conversations live here.
Join Kofi Bartels on the Morning Crossfire, weekdays 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. only on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
Live from the heart of Victoria Island, you're listening to your number one station, 99.3 Nigeria Info. This is Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, welcome back. It's still a Democracy Day special, June 12, 2024, 31 years since June 12, 1993. And of course, Nigeria celebrating 15 years of unbroken democracy. The country returned to democratic rule in 1999. And it's 15 years. It was 15 years on May 24. We have a guest in the studio, Joe Femi-Dagunro and Adetokunbo Pearse, both public policy analysts, public affairs commentators. And of course, Mr. Femi-Dagunro is the founder of Lagos Forum, and Dr. Pearse is the founder of Reset Lagos PDP. You're both founders. Fantastic. And you both have Lagos in your groups. Please call us on 0201-277-0993, 0201-277-1993, 0201-277-2993, 0201-277-3993. Also, WhatsApp number is available for calls for your short WhatsApp messages or voice notes of 1 minute or less. Our WhatsApp number is 080-9597-5805, 080-9597-5805. And of course, we're looking out for your comments on Facebook and YouTube. We're streaming live on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/Nigeria Info FM, or you can search for Nigeria Space Info Space 99.3. Please make sure you go to the right page. It has more than 268,000 likes and more than 370,000 followers. Also on YouTube, search for Nigeria Info FM. It's verified, so you know the right page. We have the full text of Mr. President's speech on our website, www.nigeriainfo.fm. www.nigeriainfo.fm. You can also go there to read the speech while we're analyzing it. All right, let's move on to some other aspects of Mr. President's speech, gentlemen. He talked about, apart from paying homage to the sacrifices of heroes and heroines, Mr. President saved some space and mentioned for Nigerian journalists. Yes. And indeed, he said, quote, "We could not have won the battle against military dictatorship without the irrepressible Nigerian journalists who mounted the barricades, along with the pro-democracy activists." He says, "We celebrate them today, along with their media establishments such as The Punch, Guardian, National Concord, Tribune, The News, and Temple, Tell Magazine as well." And he says the military authorities proscribed these media establishments and jailed their journalists for standing for free speech and civil liberties. Sir.
You see, it's unfortunate that a couple of them are no longer in the market right now. Tempo and what do you say?
We're here now.
Yes, but like I said, it's good to always bring back the memories and to, most young men and women they don't even understand. They don't know what it is, and they wouldn't have known. And if people are not reminding them and telling them the truth about what happened. But what I was saying initially was that when we say the president, the box stops on, I mean, which is okay, which is fair. But the point I've raised, and I'm still supporting, is the fact that state governors and in states all over Nigeria, 36 plus Abuja, look at what is going on in Abia State. I mean, this gentleman came in, he's not a APC member, and he's doing something fantastic. He has a vision and he's carrying it out. It's quite difficult. You saw the kind of loans and the debts that the previous governor left behind. And look at what is going on in Kaduna State as well. You see, where people are taking control of their states. Look at what's going on in Lagos State. I think the most important thing is to have this regional development. No one is stopping state governors and local governments, executives from executing what is right for their people. And that is why I'm saying it's not just the president alone. When we are voting people, we should be able to. By the way, a member of Pearse's party wrote some time ago to the governor of Lagos State and said, listen, there's an anomaly in what you published. And the Lagos State government came out and said, this is it. There was a mistake pointed out, and the mistake was analyzed and corrected, perhaps. These are the steps we have to take. It is not just, criticizing alone. This is what I'm saying. Let's take the right step. Look at that guy in the diaspora. I was once in the diaspora. I led an organization in diaspora, Nigerian German Business Group. I formed it, and we're doing it to support government. I mean, we're training Nigerian doctors all over Nigeria and making sure consultant doctors, we're training them for free. And, these are the things we can do to make Nigeria great. I mean, we cannot just see that. And that's why I'm saying that it's not just criticizing and just, condemning or abusing the government. It is not. We have to. When we begin to do things and we have references, people will look at our antecedent, they'll look at references, and they'll be able to say, oh, maybe he has the right to say this because he has done it. And I'm not saying that I did it alone. I did it with a lot of people. We brought investors into this country. It is still clear. The biggest microfinance funder was brought to this country through my organization, and it's still here in Nigeria. So when I'm talking authoritatively because I know what the power of the citizens of this country can do. And I know that the diasporas have as well. Right. But we just have to continue to encourage ourselves and not just condemning.
All right. Interesting take. You said that most of those media houses are no longer here, but we're here to continue from where they left off. Dr. Pearse, your take on Mr. President's mention of the media and the journalists and the role they played in the pro-democracy struggle.
You see, I am I'm a student of history. I'm a PhD in the humanities. We strive for perfection. We strive to get 100% so that we can end up with 70 or 80%. If we are looking at 60%, 50%, we're going to fail. We're going to end up with 30%. So I look at the ideal. The president is the head of the country. It's like a father in a family. If a president allows and encourages the senators, the members of the National Assembly, to be riding vehicles that are not imported, that are not made in Nigeria, not assembled in Nigeria, and they're spending 160-something million on one vehicle, extravagance. And they are using 21 million to renovate the vice president's mansion. I say this is a failed government. It doesn't matter what you say. They are now they're giving 15 million or 15 billion to the national educational system, the loan system. I mean, the priorities are so wrong. And you're telling me you are going about in a motorcade of 500 vehicles, and you're telling me...
Are you sure that's not an exaggeration?
Listen, yes, of course it is.
When we are talking
of
about
course
issues,
it is.
All these things Dr. Pearse is raising, it is like a karaoke bar discussion. We are here to discuss issue. Listen, let me tell you, if the president, if it's in the constitution to review, this is where I'm saying it, to renovate. Let us say, what is the limit? The constitution should give a limit. If there's a limit to buying a car, I say to buy this car should not be more than 5 million, and they have gone to buy the car of 50 million, you can now say, okay, look, it's against the constitution. So we have to begin to put limits in some of these things. Without this, we will just continue to talk and talk and talk. It doesn't make any sense at all talking. Let us put a limit that you cannot even buy a car officially and to be driving it all around like that. It's supposed to be an official car for you. When you are going to do the duty, you take the car there and you bring it and you pack it. Take a loan from your salary and buy your own car and let it be deducted from your salary within 4 years. Let's add all these things into the constitution, whereby it is not because of all these specs that people will want to be senators or want to be governors. So if you know that, but for now, I'm not too sure that this is in the constitution until when we say, look, the American president, there are certain things he has to do. He has to renovate the White House or where or his Oval Office with his money if he doesn't want, but there's a limit to certain things. If he entertains his friends over the weekend and whatever, on Monday he will be given the invoice to pay the bill himself. These are enshrined in their constitution. There's no reason we cannot do that if we want to cut costs, but let us put things right. So if you have seen that somebody is doing that, has Mr. Pearse or Dr. Pearse, has he gone to write, has he gone to the senator in his own constituency or in his own senatorial district to make this complaint? You don't wait until when you come to the radio to be doing this. Right. Let's approach the people. Let's write. Let's go out. Let's
have you done that, sir?
If you don't do that and you are just talking about this, then you have not done done something right then.
Have you done that, sir?
I do that all the time, but in addition to that, I talk in public space. You reach more people on TV, on radio than going to see your senator privately. So we do all together. Now, let me tell you, Abia State and Oyo State, they're doing great things. Those are exceptions to the rule. And they're fighting the system in order to get it done. By the way, what they're doing is limited because the Constitution, which has to be changed, does not allow, for instance, states to have foreign investments in development of their mineral resources, for instance. All mineral resources belong to the federal government. Without the development, the lithium we have, the bitumen we have, the bauxite we have, the uranium we have, all of the natural gas we have in this country, the economy will never move forward. Therefore, there are fundamental things that must be done. Institutions must be changed. By the way, this business about this one must be, details like this will be institutions, those things don't appear in constitutions. Your individual personality comes to bear when you come into office. Let me tell you, in every office that an individual attains, your personality, your values come to show. If you are not the type that wants to use expensive cars and you have 500 cars,
does not work.
You see, now you are interrupting me, right?
I wonder where Dr. Pearse
Why are you
has
interrupting
worked.
me?
That is saying personality. If you work in a bank, there are laid down rules. They give you an official car, you take it. Don't say because I don't want that. It's your choice. If you had worked in the corporate sector, if you have worked in the government, let me know and then tell me this is how it works. Then I can tell you there are corporate governance. There are principles and policies in every, and the same thing we have in Nigeria. So if you want to talk about this is why I said this is not karaoke bar discussion. Let us look at the issue. You have mentioned some vital issues, some vital points about development of the mineral resources, which I support. That no, state government should have that. I mean, it's just like you are saying, the local government cannot have their own, what's it called, these what's it called, these guys now? These environmental health officers, that it has to be under the state. Why? These are the things we say we should change.
Okay.
This must be changed. And this, how many of the senators have refused or have rejected, even your own party, have rejected the cars or the bulletproof whatever? How many of them, even in your own party? So it is not a party issue. These are something we should collaborate. These are things we have to say. And then look, we stand against this.
It's not a party issue, it's an individual issue. You understand me? The personality of the individual. You talk about if
you
I
vote
were
people because of you vote people because of their party.
Let him land, please.
You have said there are members of PDP who do this, who do that. Yes,
I've not mentioned a particular
members, members of APC will do whatever. It doesn't matter. The party is not the issue. When you get into office, if I am appointed the INEC chairman, believe me, personally, knowing me. Look, by the way, I worked at the University of Lagos for 15 years. I worked at about 5 different universities in America for 20 years. So I am an educator. I'm an educator. I'm in the system. Now, you know, if the Constitution allows you to have, let us say, 200 ministers, right? And you feel that this is too expensive, this is wasteful, we must trim it down, then you do that. So don't tell me that because the Constitution allows you to do this and to do that, you can do whatever you want. We must change the institutions. That's what I'm saying. And it takes the individual. The president of a country must begin to work toward the values that he has. The values that this president has, in my opinion, is wasteful. When you begin to allocate so much money to the renovation of a vice president's lodge, and you are allocating 40 billion to renovate the National Assembly, and you still allow newspaper allowance and wardrobe allowance and all this, and you say because it's the Constitution, then what are you there for? Just to continue to do the wrong things? You must bring about change.
Yes, the change is vital to bring about. I am not in support of this extravagant, this lousy spending. No, I'm not in support of it. When somebody just put on Agbada, 30 different Agbada in a month, that's not what I'm supporting. I see it there. But I'm saying that, how do we make this change? If the government, if the president does not make the change, if the lawmakers does not make the change, why can't we as citizens begin to push for that? That is, I've not said I don't condone that.
We are pushing for it.
Yes,
that's why we're talking.
Yes,
right?
Listen, I'm not interested in somebody who goes about with all these bulletproofs and all this stuff. After all, they don't even come to your constituency. They don't even come to visit the people. I'm not in support of that wasteful spending, if you call it wasteful spending. But what I'm saying is that if there's no way we can correct it appropriately, we all cannot go on the street and say, yeah, then let's correct it. Let's begin to see how we can do it, because this is what the democracy allows us to do. This is the beauty of democracy, that we can talk about it, that we can even criticize them. But have they made the change? For how many years now they've been doing that? Has any change been brought to place? So now let's begin to look at the next 5 years, the next 6 years. What can we do as people to make this change possible? This is what I'm advocating, and this is what I'm saying, that it is not just for us to continue to open up this Pandora box and say this is this, this is that. We, you, and I, and every Nigerian citizen should be able to approach their leaders, should be able to approach their constituency leader, their local leaders, and begin to do something from the local level. And unless we begin to do that, this change will not come.
All right. Gentlemen, I'm still going to stay on this press freedom thing before we pick the next few calls and move to the next part of the president's speech. Having said that the press played a key role in the June 12 struggle, has the press, the media, covered by the Constitution, of course, as we are, been treated fairly by a beneficiary, like he said he is, of this June 12 struggle, who is President Tinubu and his administration?
You see, when you say fairly, it's...
or should I say, has the press been protected?
Yes, in a way, because you see now that in recent times, journalists have been arrested even before they before they come out with the story. I mean, like this issue of this premium news guy, and that the story has not even been...
The guy from First News?
Yes.
The guy from Foundation for International
Even this one, that the story has not even been printed. Then it's been... invited to come and defend it.
If I should add to that,
yes.
And as a press attack tracker,
yes.
it's one of the civil society tools that can be used. This press attack tracker says that as at the end of May 2024, there have been 37 incidents of press freedom violations in Nigeria between 29 May 2023 and 29 May 2024, 1 year.
It's quite unfortunate. It's quite unfortunate because the same press men and women, the press gentlemen that fought for this democracy, they are being hunted according to that information. But you see, the point is this. At the same time, we have to have rules to guide whatever we do. But that does not mean we have to arbitrarily arrest people and just detain them for how many days or how many weeks and release them and say, go home. Why do you take him in the first instance? Why do you keep him for a week or two in the first instance? Why do you demoralize them? You know, these are the things we have to begin to talk about. We have our senators as well who are supposed to be doing that. We have our people who are supposed to be doing that. Thank God for some civil society.
State governors.
Yes, civil society organizations. But at the same time, the union of journalists have to come to a compromise, have to come to a standard where they say, no, this cannot continue again. They have to continue to
talking about setting the standard.
Yes, setting the standard. So look,
to keep characters out.
If you begin to do this and there's no justification for you to do it, then we may have to boycott you. We may have to
kick you out of a profession.
So that is what we have to do. Then at the same time, the governors or the ministers or the government officials, they have to be careful the kind of news. You don't just pick somebody because he has written something about me to publish about me that is a defamation of my character, and you just pick the guy up. No, there's a law. You can sue him. You can ask for so many other ways.
So I think you're also calling, apart from government, on NUJ to set a standard so that people who may not meet up to the standard will not be allowed to practice.
Yes,
I want to say
that's very important. In Germany, you cannot even put the press sticker on your car if you are not accredited journalist and with the card, with your identity card, because you can be stopped, you can be jailed, you can be taken to court. Listen, I have my accreditation, and I know that you cannot even prove. But
From Germany?
Yes.
Okay.
And here you have everybody, Tom, Dick, and Harry, putting press on their car. So he should not be allowed.
All right. Under Tinubu, like I said, CJID is the one who has this tool, Press Tracker, 37 attacks on journalists. But if you don't break it down, we may not understand. 26 of those attacks were by security personnel. 7 of those attacks were by state actors, 3 by individuals, and 1 by unknown gunmen, according to CJID's Press Tracker. We'll go for a commercial, but when we come back, we'll talk some more. Now, under President Tinubu's administration, I'm not saying him directly, we had 14 of these attacks on the press as unlawful arrest, 9 were harassments and threats, 6 were sanctions, fines, and slaps, 3 were unlawful imprisonment, 2 were physical attacks, 1 cyberbullying, 1 kidnap, 1 equipment damage, seizure, and property damage. But, I mean, we can't say the president was directly responsible for this, can we? All right, we'll take a break. When we come back, we'll take some more of your thoughts out there. We'll take calls up next.
No matter waiting, I show you, you show me love.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You show me, you show me, you show me love.
Show some more love today with 4 more packs of your favorite Indomie noodles in
Indomitable and Super Pack cartons. Also, each Indomitable pack is now 200 naira, while Super Pack is now 350 naira. So hurry now. Offer valid till stock lasts.
New Lafarge Water Shield Cement now confirm.
Oh, welcome, sir. Sir, we are set to begin the foundation.
Everything set?
Everything, sir. We have the estimates for the granite, the sand, the iron rods, the concrete blocks, the cement, the...
Wait, engineer. What cement are you planning to use?
Oh, the normal cement, sir.
The normal cement?
Yes, sir.
You know the area is waterlogged and you say normal cement? Have you not heard of Water Shield? The new waterproof cement by Lafarge, designed to protect buildings from water damage and water damage to your property. If you're building in a waterlogged area, then your best bet is the new Water Shield cement by Lafarge. Water Shield is the waterproof, high-strength cement expertly formulated for all interior and external use in waterlogged areas. New Lafarge Water Shield Cement now confirm. And water damage to your property.
No matter waiting, I show you, you show me love.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You show me, you show me, you show me love.
Show some more love today with 4 more packs of your favorite Indomie noodles in
Indomitable and Super Pack cartons. Also, each Indomitable pack is now 200 naira, while Super Pack is now 350 naira. So hurry now. Offer valid till stock lasts.
Here's how to tell the difference between aha and ah. When you see Pepsi's super dope new look, you go aha, cause it's slick, got Riz, and it's really cool. But when you're enjoying the same great refreshing taste and you can't get enough, you go see what I'm talking about? Grab a refreshing bottle of Pepsi with its cool new look and same great taste. Pepsi, thirsty for more. Guy, what do you think about Euro's finest? For example, this Aston Martin. England's hottest. Small body, big engine. Like Saka in the box 18.
Shaka!
Look at this German machine. Benzo. Tough like Rudiger.
There he goes.
Guy can stop the unstoppable.
If the boys are this excited, it must be Showmax, where football is made in Europe and lived in Nigeria. Catch Euro 2024 on Showmax Premier League. Subscribe now from 2,900.
Here you go, dear.
Mom, you didn't add milk.
No need to. Taste it and see why.
Wow, but how?
Is it milky?
Very.
Is it creamy?
Yes.
That's Milo 3-in-1 milky and creamy for you. It's so milky. I don't need to add more milk.
I love it, Mommy.
Give your kids the new Milo 3-in-1. Milky and creamy. It's truly milky. It contains calcium to help your champ win every day. Milo, energy to go further.
Milo!
No matter waiting, I show you, you show me love.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You show me, you show me, you show me love.
Show some more love today with 4 more packs of your favorite Indomie noodles in Indomitable and Super Pack cartons. Also, each Indomitable pack is now 200 naira, while Super Pack is now 350 naira. So hurry now. Offer valid till stock lasts.
He done trading himself. James, hello.
Susan, I beg. Say you the wine meaning.
For where? You who no longer depend solely on your salary.
So you people trade and don't carry us along in this office, Abby?
Jerry, now you they talk like this? Who doesn't want an extra stream of income? But I'm still looking for better trading conditions, I beg. Fast execution of my trades and possibly an account where swap no go carry all my profits where I don't know.
Guy, hfm.com.
For me, I wouldn't mind better spreads at all, and it won't be a bad idea to be able to make withdrawals in a flash.
All we want is transparency and great customer service.
Guys, I said hfm.com.
Which one is hfm.com again?
Switch to HFM today to enjoy ultra-fast execution, 1 to 2,000 leverage, tight spreads, swap-free, and more.
Guy, show us the way now.
Wait, are you sure deposits and withdrawals are sharp?
I said
hfm.com.
Visit www.hfm.com. HFM, online trading at its finest.
99.3 Nigeria Info, your number one station for talk. Let's talk. This is Morning Crossfire on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
All right, welcome back. It's still Democracy Day discussion, analyzing Mr. President's speech, of course, delivered to Nigerians at 7 o'clock or thereabout. And, of course, a number of things he said. We've been looking at that. With our guests in the studio, I'll introduce them again. But I don't know if I have AY on the line. AY, are you there? AY, can you hear me? All right, we'll try and call him maybe on WhatsApp. Let's take some calls. 02012770993, 02012771993, 02012772993 or 3993. We still have with us Adetokunbo, Pearse, and Femi-Dagunro. Good morning.
Good morning, Kofi Bartels.
Welcome. What's your name? Where are you listening to us from?
This is Pastor Ladipo calling from Orleans.
Welcome, Pastor Ladipo.
Today is my birthday.
Oh, wow. June 12th is your birthday.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Where were you in 1993, June 12th?
Wow. It was a heavy day for us that day. Anyway, I want to say good morning to your guest in the studio.
Thank you. Happy birthday to you, Pastor
Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. But there is something you are doing this morning that is not going down well. Let me quickly point it out. Please beg the other guests not to always interject.
No, don't worry. Both of them they are good.
Yes,
good. Yeah, thank you. Let's take your thoughts. I've done that. I'll handle that. Thank you.
Sir.
Thank you.
My thought is this: a father that says he understands the pains of his children, but yet the father is living larger than life, and the children are malnourishing. Is that a good father? That means that father is just saying rhetorics. The father is just saying theories. He is not practicing it. You see, values, personal values, reflect in the every offices we occupy. Let someone not take advantage of the lacunas that are found in our system. Based on the speech this morning, the president said he understands, he knows our pain. Sir, if you say you know my pain, you will reduce anything that will continue to inflict or make me to see my pain, that you don't know my pain. For instance, if you say you know my pain, and before my very eye, you are throwing money away, sir, I will not be happy. He talks about labor. Sir, let me tell you, the truth is this. If you say you understand what laborers are going through and you invited them to the table, are you getting me, sir? The truth is this, not just inviting them to the table. Think about the labor and the things that they will do that will reflect in their life.
All right. Thank you, Pastor Ladipo. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, and God bless you.
All right, I have Ayo. Ayo seems to be one of the organizers of the June 12 process. I want to know what is happening there. Ayo, can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly.
All right. Okay. Thank you very much for your time. You're the chairman of AAC in Lagos, am I correct?
Yes, very correct.
I'm so sorry, please. I didn't mention your full name. This is all a bit cut and dry. So what's your full name?
Okay. My full name is Ayoyinka Oni. Ayoyinka Oni.
All right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So tell us about the protest. This organized by civil society and some political parties. Are you guys on the road already?
Yes, we are on the road, but we have not started moving. We still want more of our people to gather before we move. We don't want to leave anybody behind. But the place is already jam-packed with citizens and the police, and we expect them to be law-abiding, as we are always law-abiding. Why we are out is for the nation. We are not out here for anything different or anything special. It's the condition that the masses are going through, and we want to demand better for them.
All right.
So we'll be moving shortly.
Okay. Ayo, to give me an idea of what the area is like right now, the Ikeja Underbridge area, because we know the police have been told to mobilize and to stop you from protesting.
Well, they cannot stop us from protesting. They can only attack the protest. But we are always law-abiding. Yes, the police are here. It's highly, I say militarized, because we have OP men here. We also like the army, and we have the police. So it's highly militarized, but we are not deterred. We are used to the system, and we expect it. And we expect them to be law-abiding. But so far, everybody is cool and we soon kick off.
How many police officers can you count?
Police officers, at least when I did my first surveillance earlier in the morning, there were like 3 vans of police and 2 OP mensas. But now there are more. I walked away from the underbridge a little to further follow up with our people on the road. But when I move closer a bit, I will know the number of police.
Okay.
But the police that are here are not less than 15.
Okay, no less than 15. All right.
Yeah.
One of the organizers of the protest, Sanyolu, was arrested yesterday. What's the update on his situation?
Yes. Currently now, the security agencies have refused to give more information. I still spoke to him 9:31 p.m. yesterday, and not up to 15 minutes after we spoke, he dropped a message that he has been picked by the police. Immediately, we sent journalists to reach out, and we also did to the Lagos Command. And the command not involved, or they don't know any information about it. Probably it's maybe from Abuja or maybe DSS or something. But confirmed to us that I was picked by the police. And we are stating clearly that until the one is released, we are not going to stop the protest. We have our demands, but they have added his illegal arrest to the demands. It's uncalled for. It's unnecessary kidnapping a citizen that is not hiding, a citizen that is a national coordinator of a movement at his abode.
All right.
On the eve of a protest.
Yeah.
What is the purpose?
We're told from what we read from the DSS statement that was put out earlier that some people intend to use a protest today to create some trouble. Are you guys part of that? What do you say to that?
I think by now, as a nation, we should be used to the antics of the DSS. It's at every point that people like us want to stand up for the DSS bringing out statements like this. The people that want to destroy the nation do not need protests to destroy the nation. We are all aware that people died at the north, about 200, including police officers, yesterday or the day before yesterday. Did they protest before they did that? People are destroying the nation, kidnapping here and there, armed robbery, and a lot of terrorism. Do they send out protests? Do I want to protest? I will do a press conference. I will share flyers.
Okay,
I will share location, and I have plans to destroy the nation. So these are just antics that should be called a joke. It's a mess on the DSS. If they are still releasing statements like this.
All right. So what the DSS is saying that the protests today are designed with sinister objectives to coincide with Democracy Day celebration. He also says that some non-state actors are determined to incite mass disaffection through demonstrations that may turn violent if not tolerated. And will not be okay. We lost his call there because we didn't find out whether they plan to make their protests violent or not. Anyway, let's leave it at that. We'll go back to the phone calls later. That's Ayo Oni, who is the chairman of AAC in Lagos State, amongst other parties and civil society organizations moving out today. Should today be a day for protest or a day for celebration and remembering, because we have other activities today that are meant to celebrate. Yeah.
The president and the government can celebrate if they want, but we the people cannot celebrate.
But we have democracy today,
Yes,
which is the democracy Nigerians fought for.
We don't have. This is why Labour is saying we don't have democracy. We don't have the dividends of democracy, and we must continue to fight and to argue for more, better benefits, better quality of life. By the way, whatever is happening to journalists now, all these complaints, all these arrests is happening under Tinubu's watch. He has to be held responsible. The man told us, don't pity me, and you pity him. You keep explaining everything in his favor.
Are you saying I'm pitying him?
No, I'm talking about Mr. Femi-Dagunro. Now, this is the point. Whatever is happening with journalists is happening under his watch. He has to be held responsible. Now, you know what labor is about? Labor is not only minimum wage that labor is complaining about. Labor has said to the president, you must roll back this 300% increase in electricity tariff. You must do something about the cost of living. You must roll back the business of taking away fuel subsidy. So many things that Labour is asking for on behalf of the people.
Okay.
That is what democracy is about.
Okay, hold the thoughts. I'll come back to you, Mr. Femi-Dagunro, for your thoughts on whether it's a time to protest or time to reflect and celebrate. We have Ayo Oni back on the line. Yeah, Ayo, so you were trying to respond to the statement of the DSS, which said that some people have a sinister motive, with the protests and all that. So he says some non-state actors are planning to incite mass disaffection using today's protest. What do you say to that?
Like I said, non-state actors do not need any protest to do what is necessary in destroying the nation. But as the statement of the DSS trying to force people to celebrate what they are not happy to celebrate, I think that is a joke. If you say there's a democracy day and people are happy, but the masses are saying they are not happy, they want to choose this day to demonstrate, it is their right. Because as we are speaking, the democracy which we are talking about, which should be freedom of movement and freedom of speech, till date is still being attacked. You want to pick a national coordinator of a movement in his house, and you are talking about democracy. What democracy is that? Look at the demands that we are asking for. If those demands are legitimate, can we truly say we're in a democracy when there's still police brutality, when students cannot go to school, education has been commercialized, where taxes have gone so high, where there's so much insecurity in the land, and we are saying there's democracy? There's no democracy anyway. And that's why we're demanding democracy.
Yeah. The CEO of Lake State, the Lagos, how to thank just to who observed the trick about the Friday.
Well, we don't have to the movement of this. Our protest will be orderly. If we want to do civil disobedience, we state we want to do civil disobedience. And civil disobedience happens all over this country. The ruling class have done it before. Bola Tinubu has done civil disobedience before. They have blocked the road. But that was 2012. But the protest of today is not that. The protest of today will be orderly, well organized. So the CP doesn't have to worry. But there's traffic in Lagos every day. The CP can arrest people when there's traffic. So they shouldn't be using traffic and to be being an excuse to issues where we want to do peaceful protest.
Do you see any Black Maria vans around where around?
Oh yes, they are around. They are around. I also think the CP is also around.
Okay.
I'll be there shortly as we are about to start. I'll give you more information.
Okay. All right. So anyway, thank you very much, Ioni, for your time. That's chairman of the AAC in Lagos. Mr. Femi-Dagunro, is today a day for protests or a day for reflection and also thanking God, counting our blessings? Let me say that we still have this precious democracy, like Mr. President called it.
You see, it's a mixed thing. There are people who will protest, and there are people who will just sit down at the various residencies. But the point is this. I'm not holding a brief for the government. I know what the people are feeling. I know what I'm feeling. I buy fuel like every other Nigerian citizens. I pay my bills and electricity. I buy recharge cards, like call it. And I know what it is. But you see, all of us cannot just sleep and face the same side. Some of us are liberal Democrats. Some of us are social Democrats. Some of us are conservatives, and some of us are far right or whatever. So we should tolerate one another with our views. So what I'm saying, as much as I respect my brothers and sisters who are on the streets, demonstrating, carrying placards and really coming out to show their grievances, some of us will be able to say, look, let's find another way to do it. Let's find another way to help our people, to support our people, and to press forward and press the government to do the right thing. So all of us cannot do the same thing. And that's the beauty of democracy. I understand the fact that government may try to, say, oh, don't do this, don't do that. They have their tactics. If their tactics are too hard on the people and too harsh, rather, then we can complain. We can say, no, this is not what we fought for. This is not what we expect. Yes, and that is the thing I'm saying. It is not compulsory that I have to agree with Dr. Pearse, and it is not compulsory that he has to agree with me. But the point is this: let us just be objective. Let us look at the people that will say we're fighting for. How will this fight bring forth anything to really justify whatever we are saying? I'm not going to support anybody just picking up a journalist or anybody at all and just lock them up because of some privileges of other people. That is not right. That is humanly not right.
But you showed me your press membership card.
Yes. You see, that's why I'm saying I will not support anybody, any officials just taking over the premises or the life.
But do you think one of the solutions to attacks on the press should be registration?
You see, it's now
of journalists.
Some years ago, we don't have the citizen journalism. Citizen journalism has enabled a lot of people to come up and be writing, and those who are not trained, those who are trained. So now you expect a lot of things to come on board as well. So now the journalists, the accredited journalists, should be given the opportunity to do their job like any other person, like every other person. Like the police are doing their job, like every other person doing their job. They have their processes at which you can complain, you can have a rejoinder, you can go to court, aggrieve. So let's use all this opportunity.
All right.
Yes.
Let's look at what the president said about democracy. And Mr. Dr. Pearse, you started with that when you were giving your overall take on the president's speech. He said election is just one aspect of democracy. He said election is just one aspect of democracy.
Right.
And the other parts of democracy. He also said that democracy is also a way of life that encompasses a broad outlook of which elections are but a part. And he says a nation can have elections without being democratic. But a nation cannot be truly democratic without holding elections. Dr. Pearse.
A lot of jargon, that's what I say. A lot of rhetoric, just loud sounding nothing.
Are you sure this holds true, doesn't it?
Loud sounding nothing.
A nation can have elections without being democratic.
Look, nations that are not democratic do not have elections. They have dictatorship, they have authoritarian issue. So that's not an issue. But you cannot have a democracy without elections. It is the keystone of a democratic government.
So you're agreeing with him? Yeah, that's what he said.
Without elections,
there's no democracy.
There's no democracy.
That's what he said.
No. He said election is just one aspect. I say it is the keystone. It is the center. It is the focus.
But it's still one aspect.
It is the aspect.
Okay, but one of the main aspect, but still one of many.
It is the aspect, because what he's saying is that it is not the most important.
But the other aspects.
I'm saying it is the most important.
Well, he never said it's not the most important. He said it's one aspect.
Well, what he means is he said it, but what the intention of that is to say it is just one aspect, and he's saying that because he knows that he's getting into office is by a challenge, a dubious election. And that is why it's saying it's only one aspect, because it doesn't really matter much. It's everything. Without credible election, you don't have a democracy. This is why they're fighting Trump in America now. Because
but he said that. He said that quote, that we have established a tradition of holding transparent, open, and fair elections.
But we don't.
Gives credence to a democratic bearing.
But we don't. That's a lie. That's a lie. Because we have always. Is it not because we didn't have the credible election that Abiola's election was nullified?
Oh, but that was then. This is now.
Look, he said we have a history, right?
Yeah.
Where's the history? The history of Nigeria, let us say for now, began with Abiola. Why are we celebrating today? Why are we talking about today? Because we don't have credible election in 1993, and we didn't have it in 2023. That is the issue.
Mr. Dagunro.
You see, the point is this. I think there's a contradiction somewhere there. The later MKO, Abiola's election was credible, but was truncated. It wasn't that. It was a credible election. We all agree. So when Dr. Pearse said that's incredible, I think that's a misunderstanding of, I don't know, credibility there. It was a credible election, and that's why today we are celebrating June 12th. That's why today we recognize democracy, but it was truncated by the military. So that's the difference between truncating a credible election and imposing something else. So now, what we are talking about...
So do we now have an established tradition of holding transparent, open, and fair elections, which gives credence to a democratic bearing?
That is what we will say we need to have. We may be complaining no election all over the world will really, really not have all these hiccups. And that is the truth. Let us not be illusionary about some of these things. Look at the recent one. I'm not even trying to go to America now because there's always a problem. Even in Germany, there was an election that was people complained about. Even in Europe, people complained about it. Even in South Africa, the one that just came up some few weeks ago, some few days ago. So you now begin to see that all over the world, oppositions will come out and say, look, something happened. So, and if APC has lost the election, it's the same thing APC will be doing. So now that they are there, we are beginning to see that, look, let us make things work. All I'm saying is just let us make things work. How will it work? Let us begin to press forward.
Mr. President, yes. The president also, sorry to interject, the president talked about those who, he says no matter how complicated democracy is, that Nigerians must understand it's the best form of governance.
Sure.
In the long run. You agree with that?
Sure.
But he also talked about those who will try to exploit the current challenges Nigeria has to undermine and destroy the democracy.
You see, all over the place, all over the world.
We're having the same thing in other parts of Africa. In Niger, democracy is no longer there.
Yes.
In Chad, the Chad have in Burkina Faso, Mali, we have had military coups.
So look at the gentleman who came up in Chad.
No, in Niger.
He was formerly a military guy.
Okay.
So,
Chad.
Yes.
Idris Deby's son.
Yes. So look at what is going on. So people will say that will not be a true democracy because this guy just dropped his uniform and, and we are seeing things happening gradually and where people are beginning to call their government to question. Look at what happened in Kenya. Ruto traveled to US and he was accused by his people that he spent their money unwisely to charter a plane. And he came back and said, look, it was wrong. A friend gave him this plane less than 10,000 or whatever shillings, and he explained that is the credibility. That is the kind of thing I want us to begin to call our people.
While the president is saying some Nigerians want to undermine the democracy, and it's the best form of government in the long run, probably referring to some of the coups going around Africa. It's like a flu that is going around the neighborhood.
Right.
Some Nigerians will call this radio station, go on social media and say they are tired of democracy. They want the military to come back.
You see, that is illusion. That is why I say we should stop, creating an illusionary feeling of making the people feel that that's the best way to go to destroy it. And look at that gentleman. I said, look, we are not having civil disobedience. We just want to protest according to the rule of law. So when you have things that are being explained, I think people have to listen carefully. It's not calling for civil disobedience. Say, look, let's just protest. Let us say this we don't like. All and right. that is enshrined in our constitution, and that is what democracy is all about.
Okay.
So,
all right, Dr. Pearse, those who want to undermine, the democracy, which the president said in the long run is the best form of government. Should Nigerians at any point, looking at what the country has been through, ever say with their mouth, we want to go back to military rule?
Out of frustration, out of desperation, created by where we are now by this administration and the administration before, they happen to be APC, too bad for them. They have a record of bad governance so far. But this one now that we are in terms of security, in terms of the economy, in terms of governance, is even worse than the Buhari administration. That is why people are now saying they want military rule. It's desperation. All the people are asking for in Burkina Faso, in Niger, wherever you've had military rule now, is because of frustration with the political elite. And that's why we had the first coup in Nigeria, for the same reason. Because the military thought that the country was sinking. And therefore,
the president says we need to protect this democracy.
Let me tell you, Mr. President, the only way you protect democracy is by doing the right thing. is by truly sympathizing with the pains and anguish of the people. It's by improving the economy. It's by improving security. It's by being fair. It's by leading by example. You cannot tell people that you feel their pain when you are living in luxury and wasting money, and then people are hungry, and you say you feel their pain. That's an insult on Nigeria. So, you say democracy, autocracy, whatever, socialism, whatever you call it, people are yearning for good governance. So therefore, you must do the right thing. Otherwise, people will be looking for alternatives that may not be in their best interest after all.
All right, gentlemen, we want to take some time to pay our bills. There's a short commercial break. When we come back, we'll have the chance to say goodbye. All right, still the Morning Crossfire. All right, here on 99.3 Nigerian for Happy Democracy Day. To all of you, our guests have been Dr. Adetokunbo Pearse and Mr. Joe Femi-Dagunro. And when we come back from the commercial, I'll just say a final goodbye to them, and we'll call it a day. Stay with us.
Just when I thought that I would be a tenor for the rest of my life, hey, I finally found a way to escape that bondage. I should not even say my village people's bondage. But you guys, I just became a landlord in Lagos, on the island, with Le Grande Properties rent-to-own scheme, and I paid only 30% deposit in 3 installments. And I got stress-free financing that I can pay back for as long as 30 years while living in my new home. Ready to become a landlord? Join the League of Smart Home Owners with Le Grande Properties today. It is that easy, that smooth. Secure your future now with Le Grande Properties. Call now at 091 55007877 or 080 344 06817. Le Grande Properties, where dreams find a home. You are still here. You better hurry and make that call now.
Today with 4 more packs of your favorite Indomie noodles in Indomitable and Super Pack cartons. Also, each Indomitable pack is now 200 naira, while Super Pack is now 350 naira. So hurry now. Offer valid till stock lasts.
Pregnacare. Do you know why you should take Pregnacare supplements before, during, and after pregnancy? Pregnacare is formulated by scientists to create the safest and most trusted formula. Pregnacare from Vitabiotics UK contains 19 micronutrients, including folic acid and vitamin B12, which help reduce birth defects in babies.
Pregnacare, helping produce healthy Nigerian babies and moms. Available now in all good pharmacies.
Pregnacare. Are you ready to ignite your career in the media industry? Wazobia Academy Spark program is back and better than ever. Registration opens 20th of May and closes 24th of June. Physical classes hold on Wednesday 26th to 28th of June. Spark 2.0 is offering 3 incredible courses running simultaneously. Becoming an OAP, series writing, and video shooting and editing. 16,000 naira only for each course, covering both online learning and 3-day physical training. What are you waiting for? Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to kickstart your career in the creative industry. Visit www.wazobiacademy.com/Spark 2.0 to register or send a WhatsApp message to 0908 826 5038 or call 0911 111 1221. Terms and conditions apply. Wazobia Academy. Learn and lead.
Show some more love today with 4 more packs of your favorite Indomie noodles in Indomitable and Super Pack cartons. Also, each Indomitable pack is now 200 naira, while Super Pack is now 350 naira. So hurry now. Offer valid till stock lasts.
Meals have a way of taking us on a journey. And when you add plenty of vegetables like efo, ugu, and season with the rich taste of North seasoning cubes, even better.
So, go ahead and elevate your meals with more vegetables and the rich taste of Knorr cubes. Today, eat for good.
No matter waiting, I show you. You show me love.
1, 2, 3, 4.
You show me, you show me, you show me love.
Show some more love today with 4 more packs of your favorite Indomie noodles in Indomitable and Super Pack cartons. Also, each Indomitable pack is now 200 naira, while Super Pack is now 350 naira. So hurry now. Offer valid till stock lasts.
99.3 Nigeria Info.
Your number one station for talk. Let's talk.
All right, I want to say thank you to our guests. Mr. Femi-Dagunro, thank you very much for your time this morning, sir.
Thank you.
For coming out all the way early. And Dr. Adetokunbo Pearse, thank you very much. He's a convener of Reset Lagos PDP. Mr. Dagunro is the founder of Lagos Forum. Gentlemen, in one sentence, final word from you. Let me start with Dr. Pearse.
Democracy is about the dividends of democracy, what you do for the people, what the people experience. Labour is complaining that there's no democracy in the country because we are not enjoying good quality of life.
Right.
The economy has to be improved.
Right.
Security has to be improved. Leadership must be by example. You cannot live in luxury and let the people see you living in luxury and people are poor and hungry. Therefore, for us to say we have democracy, we have to have a better quality of life and better governance.
Thank you very much. Mr. Dagunro, Femi-Dagunro.
Yes, I would just want, each state to begin to do things right. Not just waiting for the federal government alone. Lagos State in particular should begin to have the Sunday market for everyone till the end of the year for a year or two so that people can go to the market and buy things at a reduced cost so that the people will begin to enjoy the dividend of democracy. Hospitals should be made free and the prices of drugs should be cut into half so that people will have good health. It is only when people have good health, they can eat good meal and have good health, they have a place to sleep, then they can fight for their rights.
Gentlemen,
so this is what we have to begin to provide.
My name is Kofi Bartels. Gentlemen, thank you very much for your time. We return with the morning crossfire tomorrow by 5 a.m. It's been a pleasure having both of you. Fantastic conversation. All right, up next in news.
It's 9 o'clock.
The headline news on 99.3 Nigeria Info.
The headline news: President Bola Tinubu says his government will soon send an executive bill to the National Assembly to enshrine what has been agreed upon as a new minimum wage. President Bola Tinubu has also urged Nigerians to reaffirm
99.3 Nigeria Info. We are more than just radio. Subscribe to our YouTube channel at Nigeria Info FM. Check us out on Facebook at Nigeria Info 99.3. Follow us on Twitter at Nigeria Info FM and on Instagram at Nigeria Info FM Lagos for live updates as it happens. 99.3 Nigeria Info. Let's talk.